Hey, what's up, Zach? Quick demo video for you for your Watto's Junkyard Regional Manager. I just got this yesterday. I had actually kind of helped you find one of these as you were looking for it. I just happened to cross a post on Facebook where somebody was selling one, so you nabbed it up real quick and then sent it over my way. This is installed with a Proffie. It's got CC sabers in here for your lit NeoPixel connector. It is a one-button setup, so this red switch right closest to the emitter, that is your switch. Okay, the rest of them are faux switches. So this one does do something, in fact. Okay, and I'll show you that here in a second. But you've got this one and this one don't do anything. This is your switch. You've got lenses. You've got two lenses right here. You've got one here and one here. These light up separately. They're all wired separately. Then you have a crystal, kind of like a crystal chamber in your pommel. And we'll take that out. And this also has its own NeoPixel accent that's wired separately. So if you ever dive into this saber and you want to change your config, you will have 4 blade styles per sound font. All right, you've got, and they go in order. You've got the first style will be your main blade. The second will be this LED. The third will be this LED, and then the fourth blade style is your crystal chamber. So when you take that out, and it looks like this, so it's all put together and glued on. You take this out, you can see your chassis here. It should slide right out into your hand, just like that. Taking it out is very easy to do. Putting it back in, you have to be careful, and I'll show you that here in a second. But here's your chassis, right? So you got a removable battery set up over here, spring side. I opted to go this time, instead of the 24mm Smoke Goes Outpost speaker, I used Albert's new 22mm. This is the Nano Elite. It sounds really good, and it's been performing very well, on par and sometimes better than a 24 in my opinion. So I went ahead and I put that in the saber for you. There's your 2 NeoPixel accents for your 2 lenses, right? So you got one right here, obviously, and one right here. It does have Darth Maul's face on the chassis right here. It will be easier to see in person. I have a terrible camera. I'm going to try to work on that, but for right now, I've got what I've got, right? So it's Darth Maul's face, and then I've got the Smuggler's Outpost emblem down here. I did put a few brass rod accents in your chassis just to kind of mix it up a little bit from what I normally do. Your Proffie board is adhesed down to the shelf, but from right here, you've got access to your micro USB and your SD card, so you never have to move the board. It's even with the back of this, or it's flush with the back of this chassis, right? And then finally, that NeoPixel accent, of course, is for your crystal right here. Okay, we'll throw a battery in. I didn't have the sound font that you asked for, and you haven't sent me any yet. You just want me to go ahead and demo this anyway, so I went with the only one that I thought would fit.
Oh, Mrs. Sotomayor.
So we've got the Ms. Sotomayor from the collab between Kyberphonic and Nerfherder. As you can see, I've got these 2 blinkies doing something different from each other, and then you can see your crystal right here doing something different as well. All right, so they're all doing something different. They're all on a timer. This is your single tactile switch that operates the saber. But we could turn it on outside of the saber if we wanted to.
You gotta get what's coming to you. You gotta get what's coming to you.
Jesus. Just like that. Now we're going to throw it in the saber. Throwing it in the saber takes, you just have to be careful, okay? Because your plunger switch right here, it does not have any spring on it or anything like that. So it's a free floating plunger. The nut on the inside is square. It's not round. And it's square to fit right in this channel here. So I have a rectangular channel, and that rectangular channel accepts that square nut in a certain way. It has to be parallel with that channel. It's not going to fit in there sideways. Normally that would be so that you could adjust your switch, but I went ahead and I glued your switch to the nut so that you wouldn't have any adjustments to do. What that means is, though, when you go to put it in, obviously you want this switch channel in line with these 4 greeblies right here, because obviously this one is your switch, right? So we're going to put that in, line it up. When you get, right before you get to your main switch, you want to either turn this upside down, Or what I like to do is I'll just grab it and I'll pull it up. I'll grab it with my 2 fingers here. I'll pull the switch up against the inside wall. That way I can push the chassis in and then I can adjust the switch back and forth to make sure that it fits in that channel, right? And it goes right in just like that. You'll know it's all the way in when you look back here and you see that your chassis has passed all of the threads. So we could turn it on from here if we wanted. So once we get that in and it's lined up and everything goes, and that goes in pretty easy. Like if I wasn't sitting here talking about it, I could slide it right in. And after you doing it a few times, you'll get the feel of it. Just knowing that that square nut has to be parallel with that channel, so it'll ride right in. Okay, don't force it. Just try it a few times until you get the feel of it. Then we'll go ahead and we'll take our pommel and we'll screw it in. The chassis is meant to, or the pommel is meant to push right up against the chassis and hold it in place. It won't twist, the chassis won't twist because that nut is in the channel, and then it won't go back and forth because this pommel now is holding the chassis forward. Now this guy right here, you can take this and you can tighten it down, and that holds your pommel in place, or your crystal chamber piece. I always forget about this guy, and I'm wondering why I can't unscrew this. But when you go back to unscrew this and take it out, you're going to have to loosen this, right? And all that talking, you can see all these LEDs timed out. So we went and turned it back on.
I told you to clean your room. Mommy has a date tonight.
And twist off. Go to another sound font. It's a long press on the power. Now we're into something normal. We'll throw a blade in. This takes a 7/8" blade, and you have a very small blade retention screw, or blade retention, and I'll show you that here in a second. You have a very tiny grub screw right there. You can see that inside that groove there. That is your blade retention. Okay. So it takes a nice 7/8" blade. This one is brand new for me. I just made it. I haven't sanded it nearly at all, and it fits in there nice and smooth. And then you can kind of see everything I've got this doing when it's off. Right. Then we turn it on. Got your Covertech on there. I did shave down that screw for your Covertech so it didn't get in the way of the chassis. Your blinkies will react to flash on clash, right? Or auxiliary being pressed, or the blaster bolts. Or blade lock up as well. You'll get that here and here. Sometimes it can be difficult to see certain colors through your crystal because your crystal is red. You'll see everything really nice through these lenses though, because they're clear lenses, so they show every color, right? We'll go one more sound font.
Smooth gray.
Of course, this is just the stock package. Nice crystal back there. Blade lockup is holding down the switch and hitting the saber. And of course it'll stay like that until you let go of it. Just like that. And we can turn it off just like that. And we'll go ahead and we'll take this blade out and then go over taking the chassis out. Like I said, taking it out is very easy to do, like I did at the very beginning of the video. Come over here and just unscrew. Oh, we'll have to loosen this first. Come over here and unscrew this guy. If this ever gets stuck on you and you're wondering why, this is probably the reason. You need to loosen this just a bit. Come over here and unscrew this and pop it out. If the chassis doesn't fall right into your hand, all you have to do is come over here with your finger, just do a light press, and it will pop right out. It may benefit you when you're pushing with your finger to kind of lift up with this button a little bit and get it off that tactile switch. Okay, everything is a super tight fit in there, but it works just fine, right? So here's your chassis again, and you should be able to come over from the positive side by your emitter and pop it out with your finger just like that. So that is basically your regional manager by Watto's Junkyard. Let me know if you got any questions, and if not, package this guy up and get it out to you this week. All right, thanks, man.